You're watching Software Agents. This is A.T. Gonzalez, and today we're talking about Virtual Boy games on Nintendo Classics. Now, if you want to access these games, you will need the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack subscription, along with the February 17th software update, in order to access these games. In addition to this, in order to play these games on your Switch 2, you'll need one of two hardware peripherals. The premium version seems to already be selling out in stores, so keep your eye on it. This is very interesting and exciting because Virtual Boy games really haven't been re-released, not since the failure of the original console. Virtual Boy was the last device that Gunpei Yokoi made before his retirement. They sold less than 800,000 of them. At the time, Game Boy was already several years old, about 6 years old, and I guess they were looking for a successor of sorts. The Pokemon games hadn't come out yet, so we didn't really have that wave of titles that injected a second life into the Game Boy. Virtual reality was definitely a fad in the 90s, and I guess you could say Nintendo was trying to capitalize on it, but it just did not pan out. The sales were poor, there really weren't any must-have titles. All the games were red, allegedly people say that it hurt their eyes. Me personally, I don't have very much experience with Virtual Boy, not a lot of hands-on experience. I will say the red it's very harsh. I don't care much for it. I actually don't own a Virtual Boy. I never owned one. I don't know many people who owned one. Most of my playtime with them has been at a lot of these recent gaming conventions. Nintendo seemed to have an unwritten policy to not bring it up or to downplay its existence. There's only two examples of them referencing it in games I can think of. In the original WarioWare, Mario Clash, a Virtual Boy game, was one of the mini-games. And then the other one was in Super Smash Bros. Melee, in the trophy room, they had all the major Nintendo consoles in the background as a little tribute. In the Japanese version, there's a Virtual Boy there, but for the American and the European versions, they actually erased it. Presumably because Nintendo of America had such a grudge against the console. I guess another strike against the Virtual Boy is that it really wasn't a handheld. You couldn't just take this thing with you wherever you wanted. It wasn't like the Game Boy where you could play it on your lawn or the bus or whatever. In recent years, there's been a little bit of a rally cry. Virtual Boy Wario Land is considered to be one of the top games for it. Essentially, if you only need to play one Virtual Boy game, play this one. So did Nintendo lighten up? Are they trying to fight back against the aftermarket? Maybe a little bit of both? I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit of both. So let's take a look at the launch games that will be available. Galactic Pinball, Digital Space Pinball on the Go, 3D Tetris, very different from regular Tetris, different fundamentals. Tellero Boxer, in the tradition of games like Punch-Out, I hear this game is very good. Virtual Boy Wario Land, possibly the closest thing to a killer app Virtual Boy ever had. The Mansion of Innsmouth, an immersive horror game. This was previously a Japanese-only release. Golf by T&E Soft. Never count out T&E Soft. They made great golf games for Super Nintendo and N64. And Red Alarm, a shoot-'em-up game also by T&E Soft. Like the previous Nintendo Classics Online releases, the standard features will be 4 save states, the rewind, and you will also be able to remap your controls. Later this year, the following titles will be added. Mario Clash, it's kind of like the arcade Mario Brothers from another perspective. Mario's Tennis, essentially the predecessor to Mario Tennis 64. Jack Bros, the Space Invaders Gallery, gotta be repping the Taito. Virtual Bowling, Vertical Force, a shoot-'em-up, V-Tetris, and 2 games that have never been released. Zero Racers, a futuristic racing game, very much in the tradition of F-Zero, and Dragon Hopper, a platforming game that plays at an unusual perspective. Also, later this year, they will update it with the feature to change the screen color to a few other choices, green, yellow, monochrome, but this feature will not be available at launch. So currently they plan to re-release 16 Virtual Boy games. With Virtual Boy having about 20 or so games, this means most of the library will be available at your fingertips. Me, I'm excited to play Virtual Boy Wario Land on this, and also the previously unreleased games. Anyway, that's all I really have to say about this. Are you looking forward to the return of Virtual Boy? Let us know in the comments below. Also, special thanks to Pencilforge for letting us use some pictures of her Virtual Boy. Stick around for ways to help us out in related videos, and we'll see you around.